Hi and welcome to The Scene. I'm James Farnan, and today we're asking the question, how much do you know about Creston, British Columbia? Well, if the answer's not much, believe it or not, there's an app for that. So today we're going to be running around the streets of Creston on a heritage building scavenger hunt, and it starts right here. Everyone's waiting. Apparently these crosswalks are actually crosswalks. Right, here's stop one. Good photo here. So here's the deal. The Creston Museum has created a scavenger hunt with some of the historic buildings around the streets of Creston.
It was something that we thought about doing. We've actually been thinking about doing something mobile friendly for some time. We see a lot of people come in with their cell phones. The idea of a historic thing that people could do with their phones that's based entirely on their phones was something that really appealed to us. So we had an opportunity to build this scavenger hunt app and went with it.
This next stop is a 3-story house that used to be 1 story, and it says it was the first house in Creston to have indoor plumbing. Here's number 2, B&B. That's totally it. Now there's 15 buildings on the tour. How did you decide on those 15 buildings?
Mainly we wanted things that had some kind of architectural detail that hinted at the building's history. That eliminated quite a few of them. And then from there we just went with ones that we liked. One of the things that we really set out to do with this app was make people look at the buildings that are there and try and see if they could figure out a little bit about how the town had grown up and why those buildings played a role in that development.
Okay, this building apparently is like an organisation or something. There's a big symbol on the front of it. There it is. Right. Still a government office, just not a provincial one. That's got to be it. Town of Creston. All right, downtown Creston, here we come. There it is right there. Are you looking at taking this to a whole nother level at some point? Or?
It is definitely the way things are going, and more museums are getting onto that bandwagon. It might be an app that you can follow through the museum, a self-guided tour through the museum, for example, using your cell phone. We're a long ways away from that, but it is kind of on the horizons.
And do you see this kind of technology with the museum attracting kind of different types of people that might not normally come to the museum?
Yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of people who still believe that museums, especially community museums, are dusty little buildings crammed with display cases, crammed with stuff. And we are amongst the many museums that are working to change that perception. We're not boring, we're not stuffed in corners and display cases. And the more we can engage people through these different mediums, the better, the more they will realize that history is really a lot of fun.
A lot of the buildings are really colourful, and there are interesting stories behind it. People are surprised that, you know, they might think Creston is just kind of a little town with a lot of things going on, but there's actually a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah. We had quite a few comments to that effect. People going, they had never noticed that the Bank of Commerce, for example, where you can tell it's been added onto. You just look at the way the stones align and there you go, it's obviously been added onto. The one that fooled a lot of people was the school.
Yeah, actually that fooled me.
Yeah, we had lots of people, if we had them phoning up looking for help, that's the one that they got stumped on, because you don't think of it as a small school that's been added onto. It is still the biggest elementary school in the valley, and that's how people know it.
That's one of the oldest buildings in Creston, I thought, of its kind?
Of its kind, yes. It's the oldest surviving, still being used as a school building. It was, the first part of it was built in 1910, 1912, and then the big front part added in 1938.
People want to get in contact with you, they must be able to get a hold of you on Twitter, on Facebook.
Twitter, Facebook, it's just facebook.com/Creston Museum. Twitter handle is @Creston Museum. We have a website, creston.museum.bc.ca, or just Google Creston Museum. And yeah, we love to hear from people, love to hear ideas, what they'd like to see. We love it when they tell us stories about local history too.
Cool. Well, after the scavenger hunt today, I can tell you two things. One, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Creston's a very hilly place.
At least we didn't make you walk up Canyon Street, the lower part of it.
Well, thank you very much for that. And two, there's a lot of cool buildings in Creston that I really didn't even know about.
There you go.
Perfect.
We did what we set out to do.